Welcome to my channel Sh-Blackman. You have seen many professional video animators who are using Blender version 5. You might have tried to install the Blender version 5, which is a new version. You are going to enjoy it, you are going to download it. It may be very much awesome. But when you try downloading the Blender 5.0, it is not working on your computer. Hence, I am over here to teach you something more. I'm going to teach you the lower versions of the Blender which are going to definitely work in your computer and you are going to work with it. And the work projects which you are going to create, it will be the same as quality as you can achieve in the version 5.0. So at first we will directly go how to install Blender 7.8. So over here you can directly go to Blender over here, click Blender. Over here you can see the Blender 5.0. So over here, many Blender pieces. So over here, you have seen the Blender 2.50. So over here, next you have to press is that downloads. Download over here. Once you are over download, you have to see over here previous versions. Click over here, come down, and you can see download any Blender version. By clicking it, you will open up a series of release of index of release, and you have to go to Blender 7.8 and click there. Once you're clicking over here, you have to select a particular file which runs on your computer. In the case of mine, my computer supports all the type of file which are present currently over here. Hence, I'm going to press any one, and the Blender installation has started. You have to wait for a few minutes for the installation to get completed. But since my Blender is already installed, I'm not going to reinstall it, and hence I'm going to directly go to Blender. Once it's installed, you have to open the Blender, and we are going to work with it. Let's go. Over here you can see Blender, the first screen has appeared. So today we are not going to go so much details. We are going to just start with start dialog box and how to interact with Blender. The interaction part we are going to mainly do. Blender 2.78. Once you open this screen, you will find out some dates are written over here. Links, donation credits, release log, manual, Blender website, Python API reference. And recent sound blend. These are the recent how to you can get. The recent project which I've done in Blender will appear in this part. Now over here you can only get 5 recent. Now recover last session. Suppose you have done one Blender activity and you haven't saved it yet. Suddenly your electricity power went off. You do not have any that things that UPS or UPS, I forget, that thing is not installed in your computer. Hence you the electricity power will cut and your whole project will ruined. So that time you have to press recover last session to get the last session which is recovered. Now here you can see particularly over here Blender interaction equals to Blender. Now how why this part is here over here? Suppose a person has worked for so many years in Maya. Now the person requires Blender to work over here. So what they're going to, but they know all the Blender contents, but they're obvious with the how to interact with Blender. Therefore, what they're going to do is they are going to just press Maya or 3D Max, and they are going to just interact with the same manner which 3D Max or Maya does. Anyways, we are not going to learn 3D Max and Maya. Let's directly go to Blender. To get rid of this block, you have to just press outside. You can see one default cube already selected. Over here, some triangular cone shape structure, and over here, some pivot point type structure. Over here, you can see one tab, down one tab, over here one tab, over here one tab. Now we are going to not go so much details on the tab. Actually, we are not going in the tab in this video. We are going to just learn how to interact with it. Now, over here, the Blender interacts with this. Only the cube is default. This is called default cube and it is already selected. This is the grid which helps you to work on it. To move on Blender, you have to press middle mouse button and you have to move in this manner. You can see you can very nicely move over here. Once, suppose you have by mistakenly moved this, by mistakenly you are moving this, so you want to get the original view and you haven't released the middle mouse yet, then directly press ESC, means escape. Sorry, I'm saying wrong things. Anyways, um, over here the escape is not going to work. So let's come to the cube which are is wanting. To move the cube, there are actually total some ways to move the cube. First, you can right click in the cube, and then you are going to move it, and then you have to press left click. One way. Next, you're going to move it by pressing these arrow keys to move it exactly in a particular point. You can definitely see over here. And there's also another way of moving, that is by pressing G. This G stands for graph or translate. G stands for grab or translate. Most of the YouTube video will speak as grab, but I'm going to say you all the versions which you can move with it. Now means all the versions how you can interact, means all the names of the shortcuts too. Over here you can see the transport, translate, rotate, scale, mirror. If you press translate, why I said translate is also a form of grab. Since when you press translate, it is going giving the same function which a grab or right click or the arrow keys does. To get rid of, suppose by mistakenly you are grabbing it. So to get rid of that, you have to press escape, and it will return to its original position. Hence, maximum things are done over here. So let's go to how to rotate a cube. To rotate a cube, you have to directly press R. Like this, you can rotate a cube. Okay, it is rotating actually over in currently it is rotating in all the three possible ways. Now, what are the three possible ways? First, let's come to what are the three possible ways, and next we are going to go in the rotate. So the first three possible ways are: one, you can see over here. This is some green lights, green line is passing, and over here one red line is passing. You can see over here one blue line, and that's it. So now first learn means what, understand what is this. If you have the concept of graphing or 2D, two-dimensional, then you have particularly noticed that we actually got two axes. One is y-axis and another is x-axis. So you can type pressing 3 over here, and you can see that it is in 2D mode currently. It's 2D viewpoint, not in 2D mode. You can is in currently 2D viewpoint. You can see over here. So so over here you can see this blue one and see white one. This blue one is actually the x of x, and this y one is actually the um, green. So it means the this side one. So in the 2D view, have must have seen over here. Now how I am moving it? See, I come to this viewpoint by pressing 3 on my numpad, and I also use shift. I am using shift middle mouse to move this part. To scroll, you have to normally press scroll, and like this you can move. You can see that there is x-axis and y-axis. Now, whenever another axis comes to play, which is called the z-axis, this one, red one, it is working as the means it is working as um, red means it is working sorry it is working as width. This is coming as z axis, but in 3D it's all changes. This is called, this is the other side, this is the height side, but in 2D we always view in the base side, which is by pressing numpad 7. This is the base side, this is the actual side of x. Red one is actually the x, yellow means the green part is actually the y, and this blue part is actually the z. So why not rotate? Now let's come to the back to the rotate. So when we are rotating over here, see, you can see it is rotating all the means all the sides. Now to rotate in particular direction, you have to press Z. It is only rotating the height. You have to press X. You have to only rotating over here, and you have to press Y to only rotate over here. So this is the simple basic thing which you need to learn in Blender. Now you can also see over here something is moving. Now what is this? This is the place when an object will be created. When you create an object, you can, in particularly this place, the object will be created. Wherever this point will be located, the object will be created over there. Anyways, now let's come to some really interesting portion. So now once this part is done, now we are learning about this, means how to scale an object. Now what is the meaning of scale? See, the scale is simply nothing. Actually, it's enlarging an object and making the object again small. So if you press S is the shortcut for scale, and if you press over here, you can particularly see the object is growing big, and again the object is becoming small. This is the function of scale. You can even access scale and rotate from this transfer this part. Now this part is done. Let's learn the object which is in default. We are not going to go so much detail in the first introduction video. Over here you can see there is some triangular concept which I said in at the very fast. If you click over here, you can see this is getting selected by right clicking, and this is actually nothing, which is called the camera. To go to camera view, you have to press 0. This is the particular part which will show after the animation. Means this part only the audience can see. Means the part which we are seeing right now, this part audience cannot see. If you press 0, this is called camera view, and this part only the audience can see. In particular, see over here. Now you can come over here, lamp. Now what is the function of lamp? I'm going to say in very short. Lamp is actually used for giving light in blender. If there's no lamp or no any light point for in the blender, every object will appear as full black. Now this is the simple lamp. You can say simple lamp concept. This is, without lamp, you know, whole room will be means black. And there's several types of lamp also. I will teach you in the day one video. This part is done, and now I'm going to teach you, just I'm going to give a simple introduction. I'm not going to go so much details about the object, about the mode interaction view. See over here, if you can come over here, you can see object mode. This is called interaction modes. While so create over here, since lamp is created for this cube, you have object mode, edit mode, sculpt mode, vertex mode, vertex pen mode, weight pen mode, texture pen mode. All this mode may not appear in other all the shapes of blender, but only one of mode of which is called object mode will appear in the means part in every object created in blender. Now if you click camera also, if you click camera also, object mode is over here. If you click this also, object mode is over here. If you click the cube also, there is object mode over here, then nothing else. It was this very simple concept. If you go to edit mode, over here you can edit the interface of the cube. I will teach you later. And over here you can see the sculpt mode. You can sculpt over here, means you have to, if you want to edit the shape without using the edit mode, then you can use sculpt. Vertex pen I will teach you later. And weight pen, suppose you want to only select this part or that part, for this reason weight pen is used and nothing else. And texture pen also as similar, because I will explain you all this thing in later versions, means in later days, sorry, not versions. All these things are there. Now what else I want to teach? So let's let's now let us let me teach you about the um, how to create an object in blender. Let us teach that also, because we have a little bit time left. So if we now there are two ways to specifically bring an object. One is from the create. Over here you can see the many create, you can create many things. And one is from shift A. From shift A button you can create any object over here. And suppose I want to create a cube. Over here you can get a one cube over here. Simple concept, very simple concept. Now that's it. Now something more I want to teach you. This is the how, this is the way you can so today you can try out by creating several objects. Just create it. Now I'm going to teach you some, means you will create many, all the objects, okay, whatever present over here. Nothing to interface with it, just create. That will be your task. Anyways, Now let me teach you one more important thing in Blender. If you particularly notice in Blender, there is one point inside this one. This is all. This is called pivot point. Now pivot point can be accessed from this part. This is called bounding box entry. So now what are the use over here? See, pivot point is the point through which is called the object center or called the object barycenter. This is not related to Blender. I'm just explaining you what is pivot point in very easy term. Now you can now what is barycenter exactly? Barycenter is nothing else. Actually, the center of the mass is called barycenter. Okay, here hence this is actually considered as the barycenter of the object. So if we are now moving this object, suppose I am moving by clicking this active element, it is currently in the active element. This is the element which is selected currently, so it is selected in the active element. Now median point. This is also, you will not differ by median point, individual origin, or bounding box until and unless you go to 3D cursor. 3D, now what is 3D cursor? See, 3D cursor, when you're creating a 3D cursor over here, place where the object will be, new object will be created, that place the 3D cursor will go. Means wherever the 3D cursor will move, in that point only the pivot point will move. This is the 3D cursor. Means actually the place where the this controls are present. This is the barycenter part of the object, and this is the place where the means present. So this is a particular point. In generally, it is set to default where the barycenter is located. There is also it's generally the pivot point located. Now over here you can see there is some more buttons curve. Now when you can see something like this, so it is very simple. If you click over here, you can just moving it by in this manner. So I'm using cube for this. Now if you do this, you can just actually rotate the cube in any direction possible. So this is also a way of interaction. Since this class is totally based on interaction, this is also a way of interaction. Over here, if you click, you can actually increase the scale. Okay, I forget to say you something. When you're increasing the scale, you can increase by particular point also. Means suppose you want to increase in Z direction, so you have to press Z. So it is increasing in Z direction. So clear to see. Um, if you are increase or you want to increase in X, it is means decrease in X or increase in X. It is increasing in X direction. It has become a cuboid now. It's a simple concept. Now let's get back to, we generally use this. Now I'm going to teach you one more option which is called X-ray button. Now to go to X-ray button, you have to press Z. You can see particularly see inside the object. You can see anything inside the object also, as you can see. So this is called actually X-ray mode of the object. This is very used. Now you are not understanding the use. This is very important object in Blender. This is particularly used for armature. I will explain you what is armature. It will work in later versions. Anyways, that's it for today introduction video. So I'm not going to go any very further. Actually, I'm getting a bit nervous because since it's my first video of YouTube, hence I'm going to get more better as I'm creating video. Please to encourage me or to support me, please like, subscribe, and please forward to most person or the all the person possible who are interested in this kind of animation, who are struggling with animation downloads. And that's it for today. Thank you. And I'm also thanking this software which, sorry, this not this one, I'm going to thank this software which is helping me to create all this video. And that's it. So thank you.